December 5, 1872, Punjab. The British ship set off on its journey 400 miles off the coast of Gracia Island, but in the middle of the voyage, Captain Devendra Mohan Solanki saw a name moving towards him, which surprised him that it was Mary Celeste. What is Captain Umrao doing?
There was no response from the bus singles, and so he sent his crew members inside the area where at first sight everything was fine. If there was no word like Haath Bas, Asal mein kheer on Pushpa that day, because the fact was that the crew members along with the ship, a captain, his wife Sarah, breakpoint 2-year-old innocent daughter Sophia, Breaks were missing.
Without any trace, Samsung. The thing was that there were no boys and girls on Shiv. This was not a sign of an affair. India, what a lot! How can 10 people disappear into thin air? Friends, my name is Auntie, and today we are about to expose this secret. 2008 hotspot closed 2 big colleges. For you people may be asking the same question right now, but the point is that Mary Shiv wrote many death stories before this. To know the full truth of the paint, we have to go back a little bit more time. At that time, when Mary Celeste was known by another name, I will cry a lot. The wide ship was known as the Amazon, and was certainly small in comparison to the lighter rest tips. But the reason behind not getting its owner was that it is small, but it is cursed. Such stories are being discussed a lot, like Krishna Dam being damaged in Suffolk and for repair. She went to the shipyard, the entire shipyard was burnt to ashes by itself, but the fast did not come. The person who bought it also became a pauper. It may be a coincidence, but people don't think so, and Sirius is last and brought the Amazon to the Canadian airport in a broken condition and banned there. On December 5, 1872, this chip was missing, however, Captain there. There were things on the tree that at first glance looked perfectly safe. The Mary Celeste is in many states. So far it has been kept hidden, as from the top, the condition of the hide seemed to be perfectly fine. But it is one of the 2 pressure measuring passes. It is related to the fact that the lower part of the chip was filled with 3.5 to 4 feet of water, and only the front and back of which the covers were removed. Now, if the same incident happened in the 21st century, how do you think we would have answered it in a few days? Get rice mill guest because today's are GPS navigation systems with Raj. Such recruitment can activate logical location weapon point. Hello directions, interesting, right? You should have computer knowledge. Bill recording now, Festival of the People. To work after school projects. Then you will say that the company slides. Google, Microsoft, hardware, software 1. That is done to college students. And you can do this job at every level. Selects renal. Select 5 days. Payment is only front and back end. Further development where bus battery simple step will be 5 times network, so like more company can have a dream. Not only that, 2003 prize to stop Delhi cops. Also, toppers get clock slide, math book, iPhone, protein and iWatch. And sister love, the can locate Pratham Mishra. Despite having passion for coding, but from campus placement work in interviews, he got KG on crops, but is free to write front softs of force. Even today, he's setting up his career by working in a good company on the side. What's the use of test launch info stuff? John and Pav a chance to set up their career. Link Zinda. Description: after investigating, it was revealed that both the captain's notification instruments and sticky paper were missing. Only these 2 things seem to be missing. Even 1,700 barrels of industrial control cargo, which is not meant for human consumption but works as a fuel cleaning agent and solvent, can be consumed, and consumed for 6 months at the right amount. A lot of food and water, and when Captain Fullen checked the people present in the bin, he found an entry in the file. Angry, which was 25th November, 8 o'clock in the morning, means that Captain Mode and his friends were missing for 10 days. But now the question arises that where a captain does not leave his shippa in storms, then why did this chapter leave shippa so safe? And Captain Bhikshu chooses his crew members himself, i.e. every one of his members was a first-class center. And that's why the disappearance of a great captain and so much together was no less than amazing. It's just, how did the band get together? How can 10 people suddenly disappear from this chip? That is the most important question for everyone to know. What he wanted was a gift voucher lock. He asked that you had reached Mudhouse with his missing friends Shape, Mary, Celeste, so that he could take advantage of it in La Salle. Force International Maritime Lock. He gives the secret look that anyone who presses love to anyone will get an award based on the proportional value, and that's what Captain Mudhouse did. And this is where the missing master and captain of the cursed Mary Celeste disappeared. Stories began to be made that were beyond reality, such as the head being taken away by aliens, a monster attacking them, or the pilot being attacked. They might have had a disagreement with him and they kidnapped him, but there were some theories in Bay 2K Kuchko that got people thinking. Komara and escaped from there with life support, and although it was seen that they were solving the problem of the virus found at the station, but the scientific test quickly proved the situation wrong. So Captain Noor has not actually paid the full amount. Want to know why? We took our theory number 2, Sal Witchgiver and Lovecoat. On the one hand, there was a delay in the motor of the crew members, and on the other hand, it had spread everywhere. This chapter turns to get his friend Shiv first in the middle of the sea in order to get his stop. Heard, and this was the reason that the item was sent to him in a lower year, because the code itself was also SP in this case. In fact, this case could never be proven true, just like Tehri number 3 insurance money is in question. According to the caption, Mudhouse put together the whole game of people missing from Shiv with his friend Captain Vriksh to grab the insurance money of WhatsApp. But like the first 2 series, no one could prove this to be true, and also Captain Rickshaw. A few people were killed due to over-release. Their families and the entire crew were killed by none other than the capture space itself, who indulged in his religious luxury. He took his own life by drifting along with his crew members, killing his wife and 2-year-old innocent child forever and ever. The clearest theory, he told people, was the most likely to be true. Theory number 4. Now, and according to this face, the Mary Celeste sequence collided with the pirates of the pure water fountain. The water must have filled, and then, due to the pressure created due to collecting in that water, the ship also broke. And so I wrote and wrote about the works. Due to the alcohol, I began to pray in the part that could last any time. Riding a small lifeboat with the members is the right time. Regardless of this, a small profit in the deep sea is especially equal to a needle, and maybe this wrong decision of his made his life rope to break when the rope of Shape and Lifeboat broke. Compared to theories, Al McGregor, a forensic researcher, said something similar but slightly different from his cross-references in his notes. Abandoning the captaincy due to the threat of a bomb exploded and the ship's hull was submerged in water, this friendship seemed the most logical to all. But others, there is a variety, and many people considered Mary Celeste to be responsible for the accident of Mary Celeste. And that's when the Hanif of this app started running away from people, and those who dared to buy it had to sell it later in the launch. To earn money from this report, Shiv first installs $30,000, very less works. Done, and then filled in Mary Celeste and went to the elephant. The chapter set fire to this chip and finally buried the ashes of Mary's biography starting from 861 in the depths of edit and water. In the investigation of different insurance company, this was found out and a case was filed against Captain John. But still, his friends escaped from jail, but he escaped from Lahore. Now, due to Ashraf's curse, this is only 3 months after the incident. The captain died of poverty, he also went mad, and the other committed suicide. 1. Friends, now I would like to ask you what you think about this chip. A mountain of coincidences has been built. Then its story has been done in such a way that it seems that only the body is made. It is even his ship, and it is quite a result. Then you should miss your next time soon. Test universe planning and keep growing.